Well, welcome once again to the Veteran Show. Our show is dedicated to providing information of interest, topics that benefit the veteran community and the communities in general as well. Today, we're happy to conduct our legal segment with Kelly Bagla. Kelly is a attorney in California, Carlsbad to be exact, and she is an amazing individual, amazing person. I can say I can give a bullet point list. She's the best business attorney you could find. She gives it to you right and with the best attitude ever, fully supporting the businesses. She's a business entrepreneur herself and also part of the military family. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome Kelly to our show.
Hello, Joe.
How you doing, Kelly?
Always fantastic to see you and always wonderful to be here.
Well, we really, really appreciate it. Your wealth of knowledge helps us all navigate through the very complicated swamp of legal stuff. So I'm very grateful, and like I said, it's an honor to have you on our show, and it's an honor to know you as personally as a friend. So it's totally an honor.
Joe, the honor and privilege is absolutely mine. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Kelly. And I know today we're going to have a part two out of the three-part series on how to do business and how to grow your business in out of the box with out of the box thinking. And last time we covered the basics of franchising. We touched a little bit about our third segment, which was on business opportunities and how those will work. And today we are talking about licensing, which is a topic that you mentioned that like say what? So there's actually a different way to do business that will benefit the business owner, the creator of that business long term. So I know you have a disclaimer, but after the disclaimer, can you give us a definition, description of what a business licensing or licensing your business is and how it works?
Absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. If anybody can talk, that would be me. But my disclaimer first, any information that I share on the show today is, again, only for informational purposes. It does not create an attorney client relationship. But we are always happy to hear from any of our veterans, and we're always happy to help. Now, let's just dive straight in, shall we? I love entrepreneurs, Joe. I know you do too. Absolutely love entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs have this they've got this special sauce, right? I mean, they can be knocked down, and the ones that really are meant to be entrepreneurs, they get back up again, right? And they dust
Right.
themselves off and they go back out there. And what do we call those entrepreneurs? We call them beasts, right? Because what do you do with a beast? You can't keep a beast down. So
Right.
entrepreneurs, I love entrepreneurs. So here, this is for you, entrepreneurs. This is for our veterans that are listening. By the way, veterans, you make brilliant leaders, absolutely brilliant leaders. You should be in leadership all the time.
That's what I
Therefore,
tell them all the time, Kelly.
yes, Joe. Therefore, being a leader means having your own business, right? Be a leader in your business. Serve whatever's on your heart. That's what you would serve. We're all in the business of serving each other. So, for my entrepreneurs, we do have different types of opportunities to start and run a business. Last time, as Joe mentioned, I did share a little bit about franchising and a little bit about business opportunities as well. But franchising, really quickly to recap, is franchising is very, very regimented and it is very strict, meaning that if I create a brand, let's just use McDonald's, right? McDonald's is a brand, it's been around forever. McDonald's has a franchising business model. So what they do is, if someone wants to open a McDonald's, they will go to McDonald's headquarters and pay the franchise fees and basically take their business that they've created already, processes, procedures, licensing, branding, you name it, everything that they have, their secret sauce, they're going to give to you as a franchisee, and you basically step into their shoes and run this business under their regulation. So franchising is highly, highly, heavily regulated, and you cannot divert. There's zero flexibility, and you must run the business exactly how the franchisor has told you to do that. So if you're good in following directions, it's a beautiful opportunity. And by the way, there are so many franchises out there nowadays, Joe. It's
Mhm.
really inexpensive as well. And if someone has some cash sitting around, this would be great for them to jump in and actually start a franchise. Now let's quickly jump over to licensing. Now, licensing is another way that you can actually start your own business with a licensing. So if you're going to license something, if I let me just start off by giving you an example of what licensing could be.
Okay.
So licensing, let's talk about Disney, right? Everybody knows Disney.
Right, right.
Disney is in the business of entertainment. That's what Disney does. They've always done that. However, Disney owns its characters. They own the intellectual property to those characters, right? So you, Joe, or I, we can't go out and create a coloring book with Disney characters in it and start selling it. We're fringing upon someone else's intellectual property rights. Therefore, what Disney is doing, Disney has been giving out licenses. That is the right to use their character or image or a color or some type of logo. So, in order for someone to actually give out a license, the right to use something, the licensor, the one that is giving the authority, they must actually own it themselves. And how do you own something? Well, it's through intellectual property, right? You're going to patent something,
Mhm.
you're going to trademark something, you're going to either copyright something. And so this is intellect, it all falls under intellectual property. And Joe, you and I have done several um, shows on just intellectual property and
Yes,
what the
yeah.
different types of intellectual property are. I highly recommend the viewers to go back and really listen to those, because it all kind of comes full circle. So you have to own something that you're licensing. So, for example, if I own the rights to, um, let's say, let me just give you another example. What about Microsoft, right? Microsoft is also in the business of licensing. So Disney, they don't make their own toys. They license the right to someone to make those toys. They don't make the clothes for the characters. They license the right to someone else to make the clothes. Microsoft licenses the right to Office software. That's a license we have to pay. If we don't pay that license, then they will cut that service off. Now, for licensing as a business, if I had a if I had a killer name, it was just brilliant name, right? That I came up with. Let's just say Legally Yours. I own
Right.
the rights to the name Legally Yours. Okay. Now, if a company that wanted to get into the wedding industry, the wedding business, right, to start anything up in that industry, then Legally Yours could be a beautiful name for um, advertising wedding services, something like that, right? So now, because I own that right, I can license that out to maybe a wedding company, a company that caters to weddings. I can license that out to maybe a promotional company. I can license that out to um, lawyers if they wanted to use Legally Yours. But if I don't own the rights to it, I have no right to offer it to someone else. So, first of all, you have to own the rights to what you're trying to license. And second, when you do license this, keep in mind there's no structure to follow. You're basically giving them the right to use something, and they can use it in any way they want. So keep that in mind too.
Mhm.
You can put limitations down as to, okay, this is a licensing deal. I refuse for you to use it in this industry, or you can use it in this industry, but there isn't a a custom business in a box that they just hand over to you, that you step into the shoes and you start running your business. It's literally you're taking something that belongs to someone else and you're licensing it from them for your own purposes. So now you can use that license in however you want to. And again, there's always going to be license fees.
Right.
Licensing also comes in a form of subscriptions,
Mm.
right? So, Joe, let's talk about what's hot right now. Podcasting. Podcasting is really hot right now. Anyone who is anyone is doing it, and I think it's going to take over just regular national TV as well. So, for podcasting, if, for example, I also have a podcast, it's called Biz Queen. With mine, I interview my successful clients. We talk about the trials and tribulations. What were the mistakes that they made, right? And then that's one interview. And then the other segments that I do, they're called sidebars. And these sidebars are actually, if somebody wants to listen to a sidebar, because this is where I'm actually giving legal advice, they would
Mhm.
have to subscribe to that part of the podcast where they actually can get legal advice from me. So there's different ways you can cut the elephant, if you will, right? There's different ways that you can use licensing, but keep in mind, licensing is a lot more easier.
Mm.
It's extremely flexible. And you can literally license, like I said, I could license Legally Yours to 3 or 4 different entities or different industries, and it's not particular just in one. So there's a lot of flexibility with licensing itself. The only thing you really need with licensing is a licensing agreement. Do not give out your license without an agreement. With franchising, however, it is there's franchise laws that you have to abide by. There's you have to register with the states that you're going to be in doing your franchise business in. So it's highly regulated legally, and also regulated by the franchisor too. So if someone's thinking about just getting up and saying, listen, I have an idea, or I want to run something, or that name would be great and maybe I could use it for something, or even a product, you can license a product, right? It's
Okay.
not just services. You can license a product, you can license software. So the opportunities are endless, Joe.
So that's a good point, Kelly. Um, Let me see if I get this correctly and use an example like on that I understand. So when someone wants to set up a chapter under the Veterans Chamber umbrella, let's say San Diego or LA, and then they want to set up with their own structure or their own way, I can license them the name, the Veterans Chamber LA or San Diego Veterans Chamber, so they can use it to function that under the guidelines with the structure of the license. And as long as that agreement is in place, then they're able to use that, correct?
100%
Oh,
correct.
now you mentioned product. So I would like to see like as a product, and correct me if I'm wrong, like says, I have someone who invented, the golf thing, and then he invented that it goes around, so the ball comes back to him and
Ah,
hit that. And then but he needed to manufacture that. And so would that be something that you can license to a manufacturer and then they can produce it, sell it, whatever, and get a loyalty fee out of that?
so it depends on the manufacturer, right? So the manufacturer, their main business is to make your product. It's not to sell it or be a salesperson for you. Now,
Okay.
if you're going to use the manufacturer to actually be your marketing arm too and sell your products, absolutely, you would have to enter into a licensing agreement there, but it's usually not the manufacturer. So usually what it is, if it's like you said, that product, right?
Mhm.
I also have a patented product. Mine's called Eadorables. It's a plush toy.
Oh,
Now,
yes. Yes, of course.
if you're an inventor and you've invented something, you've got two options. Three options. One is you can actually manufacture the product that you've just invented by yourself, which means that you're going to need oodles and oodles of money because it's quite expensive. You have to pay for everything. Okay, you
Mhm.
can manufacture it yourself. It's very expensive. The second option is you can license the rights. So what I did was I licensed my rights to make the toy to um, uh, Mattel, to Mattel.
Oh,
So that's a
wow.
beautiful example of me licensing, giving my rights to this toy to Mattel to go make it and sell it. And that's where the royalty fees and everything else comes in. That
That's
second,
sweet.
yes.
No wonder you are the best.
That second option, when you're licensing something, now you don't have the cost of manufacturing, right? You don't have the liability or the risk of manufacturing, defective products, all of that stuff. All you do is you sit back and you watch your licensee make your product and sell it. So that's a beautiful example of it.
Okay. So one is manufacture yourself. Two, you license your product to a already reseller of that product.
Yes,
And
yes.
the third one, what was the third one again?
You can sell it outright.
Oh, you can just sell the license. Okay, got it,
Yes,
got it.
yes.
Okay, which is not recommended.
Exactly.
You want royalties come on all the time.
Exactly. And you
Okay,
know what?
okay.
If you do sell the license, right, make sure that you contact an incredible attorney, because this is going to be really, really important. When you do sell a license, you're going to negotiate with them and you're going to say, as long as I live, or for the next 100 years, my family and myself will be collecting royalties. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that awesome attorney will be Kelly Bagla. Totally, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, that's very helpful and very clear to understand the steps to go through this licensing process. And being in the world entrepreneurs, there's always people with ideas. There's always people with things they want to patent, things they want to do with this the regular patent, or the other one, the name escapes me, like 18-month patent,
Yes. Yes.
provisional
So the provisional. Yep.
provisional patent. So whatever that is. So but now knowing, not only do you have the knowledge, but also the experience on how it works because you are in it.
Mhm.
So any opportunity like that, I will send your way so you can help them, because my level of knowledge is limited. Help them go through the process. And with this, we run out of time. As always, time goes so fast. But thank you, Kelly, very, very much for the
Yes.
information. And just to set it up, next month, we'll be talking in more detail on the third option, which is the business opportunity. How to set it up, how to, pros and cons, or whatever you want decide to talk about. Looking forward to hearing your non-legal advice on the on the option of business opportunity option.
Beautiful, Joe. And at some point too, we would love to sort of discuss the 5 business-friendly states.
Oh,
That will be another show.
so that would be August. I'll set
Okay.
it up for August. The five, yes. And how to do, because even if you're working in another state, how do you stay working in that state without having to come in here and
Mhm.
become a how do you call that, a foreign entity?
Yes.
Because how do you avoid that?
Right. Right.
Perfect. August is the date.
Excellent, Joe. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for having me.
Well, thank you, Kelly. Always a pleasure. And with that, we conclude our legal segment today. And we talked about the licensing. So we were started with franchising, what that is, and then we move into a little bit of business owner option, a business option part of it, and then we ended today with the licensing. The third section would be in next month would be the business opportunity in more detail. Since that is very easy to do, we want to ask Kelly, how do we implement that easily? Because that's an excellent, awesome way to grow your business and without having too much of an out-of-pocket expense. Again, thank you very much. Looking forward to see you next in our next segment, our next legal segment with Kelly. And in the meantime, have a great weekend.